What's up guys, back with another review, and this time it's the Walmart exclusive MMPR Zordon and Alpha 5 Lightning Collection figures. That was a really long name. Now when I initially saw the product shots of this, I took a pass because the product shots didn't look very good. Not to me at least. But then I was walking through Walmart and nearly ran into this thing. Crazy robotic store stock scanner, not watching where it's going. But when I finally made it to the toy aisle after nearly getting run over by Walmart's robot, bada bing bada boom, there they were sitting on the shelf. I took a look at it and I was like, hot dang, these actually look good. And so I bought them, and here they are. And now let's review them. Alright, now starting with the box front, I am really liking the design of this one right here. I love how they use the black and it just contrasts great with these gorgeous colored and beautifully drawn Power Rangers. Whew. And on the back you got Alpha in his mode and a creepy looking Zordon. He is one side with a bunch of Lego jumbo. Here's the top with the Thunderbolt, and here's the other side. And if you look here, it looks like mine was like triple or doubled. I already cut it open to take a peek inside. But anyways, it looks like it was double or triple taped from the factory because the tape looks to be similar. Plus the bottom is super smashed. That's probably why I saw this still sitting on the shelf. But it works out for me because, you know, I found it. Then here's the bottom with the blah 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 blah. And of course the most important part, the UPC. Now out of the package, I have to say Alpha looks fantastic. Loving the paint job. Zordon though, still creepy. But speaking of paint jobs, Alpha does suffer from the usual Lightning Collection paint catastrophes. I seriously don't know how they can't get their QC in check. But it's mainly on the back, so it's not that bad. But I'll show you in the close-ups, which we'll get into right now. Alright, now starting with his disc head, I am digging the sculpt that they put on him. Just look at these sides here, the little thing that I don't know what they're called, but they just look really great, very well sculpted, super sharp looking as well. And the gold that they used is very shiny. Also wishing that Goldar used this, but well, maybe in the future. But yeah, it's a very clean paint job as you can see, except for the back. And this is the first paint mishap that I have on this figure. But I guess it's not too bad because it's on the back. You could probably paint that over, but honestly, it's on the back, so yeah. The front is where it's at, and I am happy that the visor is pretty much perfect. A little bleed right there, but bleh. For the most part, I say it's perfect. And his neck has some texturing here, and it is on a ball joint that easily pops off, as you can see. Just a little ball right in there. And moving into the body, I am digging the sculpt. They did a great job making a clean sculpt on this kind of soft rubber plastic. Plus, it's actually very smooth with very little, if not any, marring on it, which is pretty impressive. And as you can see, the paint is actually very cleanly and accurately applied, which is very impressive for a Lightning figure, even up here too, especially with all that intricate detail there. Although if you move into the back, that is where the second and last paint issue I have there, just a mar there, but they're both on the back. You could probably paint that over or just say it's scuffing, but yeah, it's not too bad. Plus the detail there is just so great. You got some texture too there. It's like, can't really complain. And you gotta love the gold on the shoulder pads here as well. Very cleanly applied and shiny. And as for that top piece, we'll pop his head off again. As you can see, it's soft rubber and it slides up and down when you remove the head. When you slide it up, you can start to see the joint that's underneath there. He's got the typical ball joint as the other Lightning Collection dudes have. And it's lots of texturing on the inside, which is nice. And the pants too, you can see they're soft there and they slide up and down, but they don't go all the way down, so Alpha doesn't lose his underwear, I guess. And taking a closer look at the arms, it's also very nicely sculpted. It's got the kind of rib joints going on there, and of course the hand there looks pretty good there. He's got the whole hand going on, but this like shoulder pad right here, I love how they painted it. The gold paint just makes it look metallic, and it's just, you know, really nice and so cleanly applied on both sides. Can't believe I got such a clean paint job on a Lightning figure. First shot too. And moving into the legs, oh my god, I'm in heaven. Look at how clean that paint job is. Oh, it's just so beautiful to look at. And the sides got some nice details and texture. This is not painted, but it's the back, so meh. And I'm really liking his little shoes here. They're just perfectly just bulbous and clean and gold, and just look how smooth that paint job is. Just check that out. So nice. Just on a Lightning figure. I still can't get over that. And the bottom looks clean as well. It's got peg holes and then legal fart. And for articulation, his head rotates in a circle like all other figures, and because it's on the ball joint, he's got some decent range there, so you can go sideways. Whoa, that's weird. Pops back. So it goes sideways and pops back, but Oh, it must be springing off the suit. That's kind of cool. Anyways, and his arm goes about that much, gets stopped because of his shoulder thing there, and it goes in a circle if you clear the shoulder thing as well. Then his elbow bends there and also spins in a circle, and his hand spins and does the flap-a-doodle. And worry not, Alpha fans, because his hands can go into his ay-ay-ay mode. And that waist ball joint you saw earlier allows him to go sideways like so, and then backwards and forward, and also spin in a circle. And the extra joint down there allows him to go extra far back and then extra far forward. And his legs go that far forward and not very far back, unfortunately, but he does do some good splits. And when it comes to bending legs forward, you can either go above the underwear or underneath the underwear. The choice is yours. And he also has leg swiveling, which is nice and hidden because of that piece right there. Pretty nice there. And then his leg has a double jointed knee, which goes back pretty decently. And his foot is very smooth. It goes forward and back and then does the usual spin as well. Got some sideways too. Oh, and another plus is that his joints are nice and solid, or pretty solid enough. Definitely much better than compared to, say, Trini's, which has such gummy joints. I don't understand what's going on. Just look at that. I don't know why. I think the new ones, they improved it, but the older ones are like, ugh. Let's go and get him into ay-ay-ay mode there. There we go. Got a little back, a little head forward, and then there you go. Ay-ay-ay-ay, ay-ay-ay. And for his only accessory, he comes with his teddy bear, which is actually really well sculpted and super cleanly painted. Just look at that. It looks gorgeous with that gold. Now I'm gonna be honest, I don't really remember seeing the teddy bear. I know, I guess he held it. I looked it up in a couple episodes, but I guess I just didn't care when I was a kid, and I was like, where's the Power Rangers at? So yeah, but here's his teddy bear for those of you who do remember. Now when it comes to actually holding his teddy bear, it's kind of an awkward situation because his hand is, the opening is really small, as you can see, and as you can see, the bear is just thick all over. So I mean, you really got, well, if you put his hand here like this is the smallest spot. You can do that, and then he holds it, but it's kind of weird. So if you try to hold him like normal, you really got to stretch that thumb out, as you can see, like that, and then he can hold the teddy bear. But yeah, it's really weird how they just made that small. I guess it's better for ay-ay-ay mode. No, we won't do that again. We'll just have him sleep with his teddy bear instead. Alright, now let's go and move in to Zordon. There's really not much to Zordon. The top here is just kind of this marbly plastic here, which I usually like. Oh, gosh. Okay, there we go. That's better. It's focused now. Now, like I said, I usually like marbling, but in this situation, it doesn't really work out. I think if you are good at painting, or actually even if you're not that good, you could probably pull it off, or you get kind of some black wash weathering here to make it look good. So that I might think about doing that. But anyways, here's the back here. As you can see, you have some little divots, which is interesting. Bunch of Lego jumbo right there, but it's the back, so it doesn't matter. And then there's that. Now as for Zordon himself, the sculpting's not that bad, because honestly, he is just a creepy floating head, even in the show. So I mean, it is accurate in a sense, and it's made out of a nice kind of metallic-y blue plastic, which has that marbling, but that's where marbling actually looks good. And then there's where the light comes on there. That's the button. Then here's the top that has nothing. And on the bottom, as you saw earlier, is the battery compartment. You simply unscrew it, and then you have access to the gaping hole, which uses 3 AAA batteries, which are not included. I put those in myself. And then you simply push the button, and he lights up. Probably should turn the lights off. Okay, there we go. That's better. Now, as you can see here, it actually flickers a little bit. It kind of pulsates or breathes, as they like to call it, and it looks pretty cool overall. It's just that one little light hole right there, as you can see. And then it just supposedly lights up the bottom and gives him a Zordon-y glow look, which it's more or less cool. Now it does have an auto shut off feature, which turns off after about, like, I don't know, a couple minutes, something like that. I didn't really time it, but it's definitely, it's less than 5. And here's the back, in case you were wondering, which I don't know why you ever display it backwards, but yep, that's what that looks like. It kind of glows through. Alright, and now the lights are back on. Hopefully that didn't blind you. Anyways, going back into the button, it's just a push on and off. Like I said, you push it and it turns on, you leave it, and then you push it again and it turns off. And it's kind of a squishy button. It doesn't have a click to it, so that's kind of cool. I kind of like that. It feels more premium, I guess. And I guess Plastic is pretty decent too, nice and stiff. This is very thick too. Don't have to worry about cracking it or breaking it. Now one thing is, if you notice, there's just these screws right there, and I got curious and wondered what happens if I take this apart, and well, there you go. It just separates, and that is it. There's not much to it. Here's the electronic piece. As you can see, it's just a little LED. It's pretty simple. You push the button and then the LED comes on. You could probably mod that and put like a super bright light there if you want to. And if you look at the bottom here, all this is, once it focuses, is actually just a sticker. It's still sticky, nice and open, great for catching bugs or something. But yeah, you could probably take this off and then get like a really super bright LED. Probably put like one of those photography flash gels, you know, just basically the blue film or something like that. Have a super bright light and you probably just light them up like crazy. It would look really awesome. Now one thing I wanted to try, which is the main reason why I opened it up, is because if you look back here, it's essentially the size of a cell phone. So I was wondering if you could peel off Zordon and then put like your phone here and just have a video of Zordon. That would have been really cool. But in order to do that, you're gonna have to get this top part off, which is glued shut. So you're gonna have to melt that glue, pry it off, possibly damage it, which I don't feel like doing, so I just aborted that. But if you guys wanted to try that, you can pull it off. As you can see here, let me zoom in. This slides off like so. You just need to get that top part off, and then boop, Zordon comes out, and you can turn it into a video Zordon, which would look really cool. But my phone's not big enough anyways. I have an iPhone 10 and it's a tad bit too small. But if you have that like Note 20, whatever that's coming out, the 20 Plus, which is like, you know, 30 inches wide, I mean, yeah, you're good. And now for some comparisons. Here they are next to their fellow Lightning Collection Rangers. As you can see, Alpha is actually a pretty good size, and Zordon, although not bad head-wise, you're probably gonna want to put him on a riser. And for you Bandai fans out there, here is the Bandai Yellow Ranger, the only Bandai I don't have in storage. And as you can see, the size kind of works too, so it works. Here they are next to some GIO classifieds. And finally, here they are next to a McFarlane and some Marvel Legends. And Bruni. Well guys, overall I have to admit that Hasbro did a great job on this 2-pack. Mainly Alpha. Zordon needs a little work. He has potential though. Now I'll be honest, I don't really collect the Lightning Collection anymore. I mean, I started to at the beginning and then I stopped because there's just too many quality control issues with the paint, and then some have like gummy joints like Trinis. I mean, they're already hard enough to find in store, and if you try to get them online, there's like an 80 to 90% chance you'll get a bad paint job. With Billy here, I ended up canceling my pre-order just because of that. But I actually saw him in store and there were like 6 of them, but only one, this guy right here, had the best paint job. Everybody else had like blotchy whites, or their helmets were just misaligned with the paint. It was terrible. And don't get me started with the Red Ranger helmet sculpt. But this Alpha is actually surprisingly really good. Like, the paint is incredibly accurate and well applied, you know, except for those blotches on the back, which honestly I can look past. So if this is the direction that the newer Power Ranger figures are going to be, then I may just get back into the Lightning Collection. Especially if they come out with Megaforce figures. Like, you know, the show's okay, but I love the suits. I think the Megaforce suits are like the most beautiful, intricate suits ever. But that's just my opinion, and I'll totally buy them up. But anyways, as always, thanks for joining me on another video. Shout out to all you Power Rangers fans, and until the next time, peace.